Welcome to the House President and Treasurer online training. Here at UCAE, we are excited that you will be serving as a House President or Treasurer this year. This training is designed to provide you with important information and valuable resources that will help you succeed in your leadership position. Today, we will be going over some key information, such as HDRL House policies, event registration, how to spend your House money, and some basic do's and don'ts. To fully complete this training, you will need to watch the whole video and pass the quiz. If you have any questions, stop by the source, the Student Organization Resource Center, in the UCAE suite on the second floor of the Bryan Center. Serving on your House Council at Duke comes with many responsibilities and privileges. To successfully operate as a House, all presidents and treasurers must complete this training, register the House in Duke groups, maintain a complete roster with member and officer information in Duke groups, register all required events in Duke groups at least 2 weeks prior to the event date. You are encouraged to register your events as soon as a date and location are set. You must also maintain a positive balance in your House's fund code and seek advice from Duke Corporate Risk Management about potential high-risk activities. Duke also expects that all houses, leaders, and members comply with all Duke University policies, local, state, and federal laws. For houses that also have a student organization fund code, the student organization president and treasurer will also need to complete student organization training. To be considered active for this academic year, your house needs to re-register in Duke groups. Prior to beginning the registration process, it will be helpful to gather your Constitution and House members' contact information. You will know that your House still needs to re-register if you see "Registration is open" or "Register this organization" under your House name in the directory. Before hitting the Register button, be sure your current House Constitution and the current House member contact information has been uploaded. Full House rosters will be uploaded by the HDRL staff within the first few weeks of classes, but it is up to you to designate the House President and Treasurer and other officer positions by assigning them their corresponding position in the Duke Group's roster. If your House also has a student organization fund code and the officers are different, please list them as just President and Treasurer on your shared Duke Groups page. Your House Fund Code is managed through UCAE, but funded by the residential program fee. The rate is $30 per student for the fall semester and $30 per student for the spring semester. Your House should spend all of its allocated funds during the fiscal year. However, 20% of your allocation can roll over to the following fiscal year. Any remaining funds beyond this 20% will be swept by HDRL. Funds must be used to benefit the residents of your house, and you will have to submit a budget to your graduate resident and residence coordinator as directed by the campus dean. If funds need to be transferred between house fund codes for co-sponsorships, these requests must be approved by your graduate resident or residence coordinator, also known as your GR and RC. Your house is allowed to have one bench. If your house chooses to build a bench, a request must be submitted to your RC through the Duke Groups form located in the Campus Links menu at least 3 weeks prior to construction. Power tools cannot be purchased for bench building, but they can be rented. Benches must be constructed using non-treated wood. The Duke Group's student event registration process is designed to help you successfully plan events on campus. To make the event planning process easier for students, when you submit your event in Duke Groups, university staff throughout campus are notified about your event. Staff will collaborate with you to arrange all of the elements of your event. It is important to note that your event will not be approved until all appropriate university staff have positively confirmed all event logistics. The length of the approval process varies based on the complexity of your event, because our goal is to provide you with all of the support you need to have a successful event. Houses have 3 event type options: house events, section parties, and events that are not considered section parties but do trigger one of the event registration criteria. House events are residential gatherings that are not considered section parties and also do not trigger one of the event registration criteria. The house event form can assist with planning and be used to maintain a living database of house events. The second type of events are section parties, and they must be registered by the Friday, one full week before the event, if two of the following three conditions are met. Alcohol is present, estimated attendance of 25 or more, amplified sound. Your house president, treasurer, and event planners can register these types of events. If you submit your section party event in time, you can make purchases before your event receives its approval decision. If your event is registered late, you must wait on the approval before making any purchases. The third types of events are gatherings that trigger one of the following event criteria. In the Duke Group's event registration form, you must select Student Organization if any of the below conditions are met. These events must be registered at least 2 weeks prior to your event date. Outdoor recreation events, for example 5Ks and field days. Estimated attendance of 100 or more. The presence of alcohol, outdoor amplified sound, controversial speaker, protest, or demonstrations, political events including election events and voter registration drives, anything that includes a contract or paid performer, speaker, or vendor, events that are open to the public, events that are open to off-campus attendees, including minors, and any event for which you might charge admission. Your house president, treasurer, or event planner can register these types of events. All houses are assigned a unique house bank account with UCAE called a fund code. The UCAE Business and Finance Office processes all student organization and house financial transactions and is available to answer questions about how to spend your house's money. The UCAE Business and Finance Office is located in the former Von Cannon Room on the first floor of the Bryan Center and is open 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. They will always respond to your online payment requests via the comments section. Make sure your Duke Group's notifications are turned on in order to receive these messages. Here is an example of a house financial statement. As president and treasurer, you can visit the UCAE Business and Finance Office to receive a copy of your current financial statement at any time. Financial statements show the current balance of your fund code and a list of all transactions from the current fiscal year. On these financial statements, positive balances and credits appear as negative numbers, and overdrafts and debits, money coming out of the account, appear as positive numbers. It is opposite of your personal checking account. Your house can deposit funds into your fund code. Cash and checks are accepted. All checks should be made out to Duke University. To make a deposit, please stop by the UCAE Business and Finance Office. Some deposits are subject to North Carolina sales tax, and this will reduce your total deposit. Examples include, but are not limited to, the selling of t-shirts, baked goods, and ice cream. Please note that raffles of any kind are not allowed. UCAE offers many different payment methods. All forms and step-by-step instructions on how to spend your house funds can be found on the UCAE website under Finance. But let's cover the basics. One of the most common methods of purchasing is using a P-card, which is a UCAE credit card. P-cards are used for online and over-the-phone purchases such as Amazon and restaurants. To use a P-card, the president or treasurer will need to fill out the online P-card request. Your house GR or RC is required to review and approve all purchase requests. After the request is submitted and approved by your GR or RC and UCAE, the submitter must visit the UCAE business office to make the purchase. The submitter of the P-card request can give permission to another member of your house to come to the UCAE Business and Finance Office and complete the order. The submitter will need to add a comment to the request stating who will be coming in to complete the purchase. The original receipt for the purchase must be turned in within 2 business days. If the original receipt is not turned in within 2 business days, your house's fund code will be suspended until the receipt is turned in. Please note that P-cards cannot leave the UCAE Business and Finance Office, and additional charges cannot be authorized without express permission. Due to P-card compliance issues, certain vendors cannot be paid using the P-card. Please see the UCAE website for a list of these restricted vendors. Students can be reimbursed when they spend their own personal funds on approved house expenses. The hard copy reimbursement form must be completed for the student that made the purchase. The UCAE Business and Finance Office must receive the completed paper form with the original receipts attached showing proof of payment. We highly recommend keeping copies of the reimbursement form and receipts that are turned in. All reimbursement forms must be submitted to the UCAE Business and Finance Office within 14 days of your event date. If the expense is not associated with an event, your reimbursement must be turned in within 14 days of the receipt date. The online reimbursement request is also required to give your GR or RC's approval. This will count as the House President or Treasurer's approval of the expense as well. Please note that it will take a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks to receive your reimbursement check. There are certain types of purchases that cannot be reimbursed. There are a few listed here, but please see the UCAE website for a complete list of restricted purchases. Please note that Duke faculty and staff cannot be reimbursed through your house fund code. Faculty and staff must charge all expenses through their own department. If your house wishes to reimburse a department for a specific expense, the president or treasurer must initiate a transfer request. Visit the UCAE website for complete details on how to transfer funds to a department. If you do not want to use personal funds, but the vendor is unable to accept credit cards, checks, or they've had previous P-card compliance issues, you can request a cash advance. As president or treasurer, you must submit the online cash advance request and receive GR or RC approval. You can request up to $200 per day per student. Once the advance is approved, you will pick up the cash at the cashier's office located at Smith Warehouse in Bay 8. The cashier's office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please note that a hold will be placed on your Bursar account when the cash is picked up. All receipts must be turned in with the cash advance receipt form to remove this hold. The cash must remain in your possession at all times. The cash must be used to make purchases, no credit card purchases. Steps for clearing a Bursar account are on the UCAE website under Finance. A check request is used to pay speakers, performing artists, and contracts. First, as a president or treasurer, you will need to submit the online check request and receive GR or RC approval. A hard copy of the invoice or contract must be turned in with a current W-9. If the payment is going to an individual, you also need to submit the independent contractor checklist. All forms must be turned in at least 3 weeks prior to your event date. All contracts must go through the contract review process. Students are never allowed to sign contracts on behalf of their house or organization. All contracts must be signed by a UCAE staff member. This is to protect you as students so that you are not personally liable for the contract. Your house is now required to use the official Duke University student organization contract for speakers, DJs, artists, entertainers, etc. This contract is available under the Forms section of the UCAE website. All contracts must be submitted to UCAE for review at least 3 weeks prior to your event date. This is to ensure that there is adequate time to review the contract and process payment before your event. If you want to hire a student to be a DJ, photographer, or entertainer for your event, The Student Entertainer and Creative Artist Agreement on the UCAE website must be completed. After the student entertainer has signed the agreement, submit the form to the contract drop-off box in the source. The student must be added to the Duke University payroll at least 3 weeks before your event. After the event, the fee will be automatically deducted from your house fund code. When you want to transfer funds to another house or department, you will need to complete the transfer request form online through Duke Groups. This form is often used when 2 houses are co-sponsoring an event. Your house can only transfer to a department when you want to reimburse for expenses, and copies of the receipts are required. If a department at Duke wishes to transfer funds to a house, for example, an event sponsorship, a department representative must email the UCAE Business and Finance Office with the transfer details. All transfers must be initiated by the UCAE Business and Finance Office. Do not give your fund code out to other departments. An interdepartmental request form, or IR form for short, is used to pay internal Duke offices and vendors like the Loop, the Chronicle, and the Lobby Shop. This form is not available on the UCAE website. First, as a president or treasurer, you must submit the online P-card request and receive GR or RC approval. Once the purchase is approved by your GR or RC and UCAE Business and Finance Office, the president or treasurer will come to the UCAE Business and Finance Office to pick up an IR form. This form will be given to the on-campus vendor to complete your order. Do not give your fund code to an on-campus vendor without first getting an IR form from the UCAE Business and Finance Office. Once the order is completed, you must bring the receipt to the UCAE Business and Finance Office within 2 business days. All financial requests can be submitted online through Duke Groups. To submit a new request, you will need to log into Duke Groups, click Campus Links in the top right corner, and then click 1617 Payment Request with the correct quad name. After your first request, you will need to click New One on the next page. Please do not select Resume. Follow the instructions within this form in order to submit your request to UCAE Business and Finance for review. To give prizes to your house members for competitions, like a bracket challenge, you will need to use the prize winner form. The UCAE Business and Finance Office must have the completed prize winner form at the time of purchase. When seeking reimbursement for prizes, you must have approval prior to making the purchase. Gifts cannot be given to house members, and they should not be given to Duke faculty or staff. All t-shirt purchases and customized items must be made through a Duke-approved vendor, whether it contains a Duke logo or not. Any purchase made from an unapproved vendor will be denied, including reimbursements. A full list of Duke-approved vendors is available on the Duke Trademark and Licensing website. Duke protects the use of its logos. If you would like to include any references to Duke, it must be pre-approved by the Office of Trademark and Licensing. Plan ahead and seek approval early. Under no circumstances can you do the following: use a Square or other devices to process credit card transactions. Use Kickstarter, Eventbrite, PayPal, or other unapproved online financial services. Pay a performer or individual with cash. Sign a contract. Purchase power tools. Pay a contract with personal funds. Be reimbursed for ATM withdrawals, or complete a purchase before receiving GR or RC approval. This is not an exhaustive list. Please make an appointment with the UCAE Business and Finance Office to discuss any financial questions. Detailed information, links to all payment requests, and step-by-step instructions are posted on UCAE's website. You are responsible for communicating the information in this training, as well as on the website, to the members of your house. Your house is responsible for tracking all deposits and expenses that post to your fund code. As president or treasurer, you can request a copy of all posted transactions at any time. Please keep in mind that transactions will not post on the same day, and it can take several weeks before certain transactions post. Lastly, the president and treasurer must complete training, pass the quiz, and update the house's Duke Group's roster before any financial transactions can be made. Now that you've completed this training video, you'll need to complete the house training quiz. The quiz is located in the Tests and Quizzes section of Sakai. If you have any questions, please contact the UCAE Business and Finance Office. Thank you. We look forward to working with you and with your house this year.